Hi, Michael Buffer here, and you are watching Lights Out.
This is Lights Out. I am FAISAL Khan. You all know this face, Mr.
Lights
Johnny
out,
Nelson.
FAISAL Khan, how you doing, man?
Not too bad, Johnny. How are you doing?
I'm alright, thanks. It's been a good turnout today. Really
That's the first time someone's asked me first how I'm doing, so I really appreciate that, Johnny. Well, I'll start off by saying, you know, I thought last year's card when White fought Parker and Chisora fought Takam, I thought that'd be very difficult to top, but this one really has topped it. You know?
I think Chisora against Price is actually better than Chisora against Parker. Domestically for us here in the UK. On a bigger scale, no, but it's sort of more intriguing. You're thinking, can Price pull it off? Will the penny drop? I think the top of the bill is very close, very even. You've got number 1 fighting number 2 in the world, 2 world champions. That doesn't happen very often. Every once in a blue moon, the fighters just say, let's just get it on. So again, you have Conor Benn, exciting young fighter on the undercard. I'm a massive fan of his. Shannon Coney. Shannon, she's just going through the motions to get the experience to hopefully move on to bigger and better things. Cruiserweight European title fight.
Lawrence Okoli. Vesnagabu.
Against Yves Nagabu. He's from our gym. He's not the biggest cruiserweight. He's strong. He's determined. He's got ambition to move forward. So he's
undefeated and he's stepping into the Lions' Den.
So on paper, it's a tough fight for him, but this probably shows the depth of Lawrence Okoli. So again, it's all good.
I want to get your thoughts on the Ali Trophy final. It's a massive 50-50 fight. I mean, literally, it's really hard to split. I mean, who would you have going into the fight as the favourite, and who do you think will win the fight in your
First of all, I think it's a really good tournament to have. I wish they had tournaments like this when I was around, and because it puts champions or fighters in a position where you'll get unified champions. You've got the best fighting the best. So hats off to Sauerland for bringing this to boxing. The fight itself is a tough one. You can see why both fighters should win or lose. Both fighters are very similar in attitude, self-belief. You look at the records, both fighters unbeaten. Both fighters knew their paths would cross. We had a fighters meeting with them a while ago, and their message was exactly the same. I can't say I would lose. And I'm an ex-fighter, and you can always smell a hustle when a fighter's hustling his way through a conversation about how good he'll do or not do. It's hard to split him. Josh Taylor has a height and reach. Prograis has that adaptable style. So this is one of those fights where it's just hard to pull through. Common sense would say a big good one would beat a good big one would beat a good little one, and so you'd lean towards Taylor because he has a height and reach. I hope the rumours aren't true that I'm hearing Taylor struggling away, because I think it affects what could possibly be a really good fight, and it gives favour to the other. But again, it's a tough ask.
You're a Sheffield man, another guy that you've obviously got to know well and has obviously been in the same gym as you is Kell Brook. Now, I remember a few years ago at the Anthony Joshua fight versus Carlos Takam, I come up to you and I asked you, who do you think would win between Kell Brook and Amir Khan? You said Kell Brook would win. Now I want to ask you the question, why has that fight not happened, and do you expect it to happen at some point?
The fight's not happened because Amir Khan didn't want it to happen. That's simple. No other excuse, no other reason. Amir Khan didn't want to fight that. People misunderstand me, especially Khan's fans think I'm saying this because I dislike Khan. I don't dislike Khan. I'm just saying how it is. I'm being straight. So the only reason why the fight hasn't happened is because Amir Khan doesn't want to happen. Nothing else, nothing personal, nothing, but that's the reason why it's not. That's the answer to the question. I think, could we see it? No, I still don't buy into it. Even though it's the biggest fight out there for both of them, the biggest earner left for both of them, I still don't see it. I think we're wasting our time romancing the idea. I just don't see it.
So you don't expect it to happen at all in this case?
Yeah.
No, it's
we
a
can
shame.
dance around it, we can tease, but if Amir Khan didn't want it when he was like at the top of his game, he's definitely going to want it now.
It's a massive shame because we never obviously got to see Lennox Lewis versus Riddick Bowe. There's many fights we've not seen.
Don't get me mistaken. You asked me before if I thought who'd win. I said Kell. I have no idea who'd win now. And Kell's my boy. I have no idea who'd win now because both fighters are not as good as they were. Both fights, but last few performances have told us that. Kell's my boy. Kell's from our gym. Give me a reason to any reason to say Kell, and I'll say it. I've no idea, because both fighters are basically at the same level now. Kell has the accuracy and the power. Khan has the speed, but he's vulnerable. I've no idea. So I'm not saying this because Kell's my boy, because I've no idea who'd win.
Another fighter that's obviously part of the Ingles gym is the WBO super middleweight champion Billy Joe Saunders, who has also joined the Matchroom stable. That opens many doors for big fights against the likes of Callum Smith, perhaps even a Canelo or a Golovkin. First of all, we know he's got a fight on the KSI Pro Logan. He's on that undercard. As many people expect him to get past that fight. After that fight, and if Callum Smith can get past John Ryder, do you expect that fight to be made next? Callum Smith versus Billy Joe Saunders.
I'd love it, like anybody else. I'd love that fight to happen next, because again, it's intriguing for us. You got two skilled fighters, two champions, and it's silly that the fights don't happen. So I think both fighters want to do this. Both fighters want to fight each other, but it gets political. It's what's the best move for both fighters, and I'd love it to happen. I know how good Billy Joe can be. I know how good Callum. Well, I don't know how good Callum Smith, because I still don't think he's a finished article. I look what he's achieved. So again, you've got more chance of this fight happening than of Kell Brook Khan fight happening.
Final question, Johnny. I've kept you for a while now. Give me a prediction for December, Saudi Arabia, the rematch. Joshua Ruiz 2.
Anthony Joshua 1,000%.
How does he win? Points or
Points.
KO?
1,000%.
Johnny Nelson, thank you very much for talking to Lights Out.
Peace.